This is Rolick for Party Line, pre-recorded at the Boonville Fair, and I've got the great personal privilege of interviewing for the second time Miss Jeanie C. Riley, and welcome back to WLFH.
Hi, Jeff.
Do you remember that conversation I had at the Syracuse State Fair?
Yeah, you reminded me of it. I had forgotten the name, but when you reminded me of the telephone call I made it from Syracuse, I remember it well. I was standing out in the hall, people just buzzing right by, and I had trouble hearing you, I remember. But we managed to have a conversation, I think, between shows.
Right.
And Bill Anderson was on that show, and Jan Howard, gospel group. I can't think of the name of the gospel group. I think it was possibly Blackwood Family, Blackwood Brothers, not sure.
Well, now you've come to Boonville tonight, and it was just packed with the grandstand area, and they let people in over that area. How did you like the show tonight?
The crowd was fantastic. I understand that they had to close the gates and not allow any more people in to the show because they were packed. They were packed around the stage and around the back of the stage and out in front and up in the grandstands and everything. Just beautiful, beautiful audience.
Right.
Just like the audience was at Syracuse last year. It was another packed audience.
Just one of the best performers in country music, and I know everybody at the station really thinks you're tremendous.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Ralph Van, Al Vest, Mark Fuller, the Rich Richmond, they all play your music, and I really, could you say hello to them?
Hi there. Sure appreciate you playing the records. I love all of you.
Right. Well, I think that I talked to you last year about how you got into Harper Valley PTA, and could you repeat that story for me? I mean, how that great hit came about and so forth. You performed it tonight, and...
Yeah, I've told this so many times you'd think that it would roll right out, but I always get kind of dull when I'm asked that because I'm trying to think of some way to say it where it doesn't sound like I'm reading it. I'm always trying to, to figure out a new way of saying it, but the facts are the same. I was working as a secretary to a music publishing company, and a friend of mine named Royce Clark, but he wrote under the name of Clark Bentley and recorded for Shelby Singleton as Clark Bentley, presented a home tape of his songs to Shelby Singleton for publication, and my voice was on one of the songs called Old Town Drunk, and it was a novelty number, some sarcasm in it, and Shelby came up out of his seat and asked him who that girl was. Said, I heard a song a few months ago. It was a demo by someone else, and he wasn't interested in signing them because he didn't have a country label, wasn't interested in one at the time, but when he heard my voice and put it together in his mind with that song that he'd heard, well, he knew that the ingredients were right for a hit. He thought I had the right voice for that song, so he told my friend if he'd get me, he'd get that song, we'd cut a #1 record, and we did the next week, although prior to that time I'd never met Shelby Singleton.
So Tom Z. Hall kind of helped you along, right?
Yes, he did. That was my start, and actually it was, I guess, the big start for him because he had one record out called I Wash My Face in the Morning Dew, Bathe My Soul in the Sun, whatever it is. Beautiful song. Prior to Harper Valley, but people weren't familiar with his name. And it seems like after Harper Valley, immediately, people started being aware of his writing ability. And that led then to people enjoying his voice because he's got such a real presentation. And I'm really proud for him because although I didn't know Tom T and he didn't write the song, especially for me or anything, he still was the original creator of Harper Valley, and I do owe a lot to him.
Well, let's get back to the Harper Valley gal, Jeanie C. Riley. And I interviewed you, and you were about to launch One Night. What have you put out since, and what is coming out in the future?
I have a record out now called Hush. It's a Joe South song, of course, on MGM, and it's a little unusual for me. It's I guess the most up-tempo track I've ever had as a single. And I have several things in the can. I was supposed to have had an album coming out in July, but I haven't been in the studio in 6 months. They can't get me in. I'm too wrapped up in business, and when I'm in town and on the road so much that I just haven't made it in the studio. Now I'm going to be a couple of months late with my album, maybe 3 or 4 months, I don't know. But the material I'm doing now is looking for material that reminds me of maybe the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. I want to get that sound into my music. And my producer doesn't really hear this, but I do. I'm talking about more of banjo and dobro, mandolin, things like this. Not exactly bluegrass, but, a mod country. I went to Nashville to record. I mean, just straight country. What I used to sing was early Connie Smith stuff and early Loretta Lynn stuff. I put out 1 or 2 singles that were just that way, and the people don't accept those from me like they do something that's contemporary. So since I don't care for the strings and the popish sound to country music, then I want to get into a funkier country sound, which is also contemporary. And
That's what you're aiming for.
that's what I'm aiming for. Like Waylon Jennings is in that bag, Johnny Darrell's in that bag. I can't think offhand of a girl who is.
What do you think
Tom
of the...
T. Hall, he's not in a funky bag, but he's in, let's say, like Clayton Delaney, a lot of dobro, you know, stuff like this.
Jeanie, what do you think of the music scene today, country and western style? You really think it's moving anywhere? You think it's flourishing?
Oh, definitely. Country music is the biggest right now that it's ever been.
You wouldn't say the same for rock music, would you?
Well, I think, you know, rock music still has the biggest following of any kind of music, but the thing that, pardon me, I was cleaning the house here and I forgot that the trash can was moved.
Right, we'll remind listeners we're in the trailer, too. This little beautiful bus. Anyway, getting back.
No, I said that I guess rock has the biggest amount of followers, but the artists in rock music are only as big as their latest single records. Like, the competition's stiff in all the fields, but probably more so in rock, because there's so many rock groups and rock artists, you know, it have a few hit records and then they disappear, and a lot of people have said that this happened to me, people that don't listen to country music, people who follow nothing but rock music, because I haven't had anything in the rock charts now in about 2 years. Oh Singer was the last thing I had. Oh, Good Enough to Be Your Wife, I think, went to about 80-something in the pop field. But my records are aimed at the country field, and that's the charts they hit, is country charts. And unless people listen to country, well, they think that I hadn't had a record out, because I don't record rock. And that's the way it is with all the rock people. Some groups are fortunate enough in the singles acts, you know, or whatever, to have say a few years of hits. But really, I think in the rock field, the longest length of time that a person could stay on top may be 3 years. And you know, the country audience is not that fickle. If they ever accept you, they buy your records for you, not for the sound of the latest record. In the rock field, they buy the record, not the artist. And
that's the difference, right?
This is a security blanket, I suppose, for country artists, because although the fans might not be that pleased with your latest records, they're loyal enough to request them or buy them because they like you, you know, and that's what I appreciate so much about the country audience.
Well, I know there are many other commentators here who want to talk to you. We'd like to thank you very much for being on Party Line, and we hope maybe to see you for the third time somewhere.
I hope so, Jeff. I enjoy talking with you again.
Right, thank you. Now, could you make a promo for us? This is Jeanie C. Riley, and you're listening to WLFH. Here at the call letters are written. Yeah, WLFH.
Oh, I see. WLFH. This is in Boonville, too, yeah.
Right, no, we're in Little Falls. Just say WLFH.
Well, that's,
we're in Little Falls.
is that all you want me to say? It's real short?
Yeah,
okay.
This is Jeanie C. Riley. You're listening to WLFH.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Jeanie C. Riley, and you're listening to WLFH.
Would you do one for Ralph Van, V-A-N? He's our morning man. He plays country music, too. Ralph
Van, okay. Hi, this is Jeanie C. Riley, and you're tuned to a friend of mine, Ralph Van, on WLFH.
Same from Al Vesp.
Al
That,
Vesp?
yeah, V-E-S-P.
Okay. Hi, this is Jeanie C. Riley. Stay tuned to Al Vesp. He'll really sock it to you.
He's going to really flip. How about Mark Fuller? F-U-L-L-E-R.
Hi, this is Jeanie C. Riley. Stay tuned to Mark Fuller. He's a friend of mine.
Rich Richmond.
Hi, this is Jeanie C. Riley, and you're tuned to Rich Richmond on WLFH.
And these
Yeah,
are my
okay.
bosses.
Yeah.
Jeff Rolick.
I don't do a show. I'm the news director. I don't do a show, but Clem Walters and Peter Van Pelt are my, just say Clem and Pete. Say hello to them.
Clem and Pete.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Jeanie C. Riley, and I'm just saying hello to Clem and Pete.